flourish again like it does now. So let's talk about gameplay. What are you aiming at? Are you aiming at a type of gameplay from the first part with very broad scenes and many puzzles, or are you taking a more, I say, modern approach with that is taken by many modern adventure games, which tones down the puzzle part and makes the game easier approachable?
No, again, I'm going to be like a politician and answer a slightly different question. For Broken Sword Director's Cut, we tried to make that feel more contemporary. So up until 5-10 years ago, it was the gameplay was primarily about frustrating, and people loved the fact they were frustrated. And I remember one journalist saying, you know, what he loved was going to bed, not knowing what the solution was, and waking up in the morning and saying, I'll try that. Now, that's great, and there are still people that like to do that, but most people want a more fluid experience. So what we did for Broken Sword Director's Cut was we put in the hint system, which actually worked really, really well. So when you saved a game, it told you how many times you'd accessed hints. And so for some people, a hardcore, it was all about, I haven't accessed any hints at all, you know, I'm brilliant. And for others, some people opened up all the hints because what they wanted to do was just play the game, and they wanted a little bit of a challenge. And they go, okay, I'll look it up. And they got enjoyment out of seeing that it was a challenge and then looking up the answers. So what we gave was people a choice. So this is going to be a game with plenty of puzzles. I really like the idea of going into the first-person perspective. If you remember, in Director's Cut, you went in when the corpse was there and you picked up and you opened his jacket. That, I felt, really worked very well, both on PC and on console. You know, sorry, both PC and mobile, touchscreen. And so we'll be having a lot of, you know, close-ups so that you can go in and you can see the action. But this is very much in the spirit of a traditional 2D point-and-click adventure, and you know, we will work hard to make it feel contemporary. We've got it in HD. We've got much more animation. We've got a higher frame rate. We like the idea. I like the idea of playing around with what you know. So we have knowledge icons, so you can manipulate what you know to progress as well. So lots of new ideas, but what I'm very keen is to make sure that those new ideas build on what people really love from adventure rather than replacing. And it's quite a subtle thing, but you know, we've given this a great deal of thought. We will continue to work with our fans and, you know, consult with them and get ideas from them to make sure that we deliver something better that's in enhancement of what went before rather than something that replaces it and is into a totally different direction.
But in the core, you are aiming for very traditional 2D point-and-click gameplay.
Well, I'm going to just answer it by saying we want to sell. You know, last year on iOS alone, we had 5 million downloads. You know, what we want to do is we want to appeal to people who like Broken Sword, and you know, that is very broad. And so far we've worked very hard, and I'm very proud of the fact that we've managed to embrace both very casual gamers on one side and the hardcore on the other, and that's really what we want to continue to do.
That sounds good. For me personally, Broken Sword is a series where I very fondly remember the German, not only translation, but also the German voices. Will we be able to see or hear these again?
I am talking to German George, and I very, very much hope that he will voice George. I mean, from my perspective, I'd love him to. I think from his perspective, I'd be very surprised if he didn't. And yeah, we'll be working with the same people who did all the recording, the German recording, and the German translations as well. So yeah, it should feel very, very authentic in terms of what came before, because you know, clearly, you know, the whole gaming experience in German, you need great actors, great writers, and we've had it before. We're working with the same people, so I have great confidence it'll be every bit as good again.
This time you're not only aiming at a PC release, but also on Mac and other systems. Which systems are they, and why did you choose to support them?
Okay. We see two different, you know, bedrocks. The first one is PC and Mac, obviously, and then the second one is mobile. We are absolutely blessed with the fact that point and click has translated so well to slide and touch. So now if you go to console, of course, then you need direct control, and that's a very different game mechanic. So we need to think very hard about bringing it to console and having a console controller, because even looking at Tales of Monkey Island, where they give you the choice between direct control and point and click on a controller, it sort of works, but it's not ideal in my opinion. It's still not ideal. So absolutely PC and Mac, absolutely mobile touchscreen, no question about that. And very, very keen also to bring it onto console, but that requires a lot more thought, and that's certainly not a certainty. That's definitely not a certainty.
Coming back to the Kickstarter campaign, what stretch goals have you defined, and what will you do if you raise more than the $400,000?
Okay, I think that the idea of saying to your audience, the stretch goals are, it'll be on XBLA, it'll be on PSN, it'll be translated into Spanish, is ludicrous, because ultimately what you want to do is reward people who are primarily PC or probably mobile. So, if it goes above, yes, we will be doing other formats, yes, we will be doing other languages, but the majority is new content, a richer, deeper gameplay experience, a larger game, better voiceovers. That's where the stretches will primarily be aimed.
Okay, so how far are you in the production, and when can we expect to play the game?
Okay, we're about halfway through. We are expecting to go to alpha around about the end of the year, and we are expecting to publish in the first quarter or right at the very beginning of the second quarter of next year. So sort of probably end of March.
That's actually pretty soon. Thank you for answering our questions about Broken Sword. I have one more question regarding the assumed Dave Gibbons project, which has been rumored on the internet after an interview with Dave Gibbons. Can you say something about that?
Yeah. I've been talking with Dave. It's always great. We meet up and we just throw ideas around, and we went even to the extent of writing a story a year or so ago, and we will work together. But Dave was alluding to that, the time gone past, and I think it was interpreted as the fact that we're actually working with him on something at the moment. We're focusing on Broken Sword. I mean, I love Dave, and when this article came out, I was as surprised as anybody to see it, because it had been interpreted quite reasonably that we were working on a project with him at the moment. That's not actually the case, but we will do, because we love Dave, we love working with him, and it's just a matter of time.
Then for the moment, we will be looking forward to Broken Sword 5. Thank you very much for your time, and good luck with the game.
Well, thank you very much, and thank you also to you and everybody at Adventure-Chef, because it's a great site, and you've given us great support, and we're very grateful to you. Thank you.